I'm trying to figure out, like, you worked at Red Hat, right? Which is
Yes.
kind of a, well, data center software, virtualization software potentially,
Yep.
very specialized, right?
Yes.
And then you worked in coding, also very specialized, and then you start working in the cloud,
Yes.
right? For me, like I've been in networking for a long time. I know
Yes.
virtualization, and I've been
Excellent.
going through the AWS course on Cloud Guru, and there's a lot of things that I never worked with in my entire life. Right?
Yes.
We were talking earlier, networking, and now I'm looking at data centers, and they're talking about RDS and Aura and all that stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know what a data center is.
Yep.
So I have to go study what in the world is a data center
Yes.
in order to actually study AWS. So now I'm like doubling my studying. If someone wants to become flexible like you, right, and wants to learn about the cloud, and they have a niche knowledge in one area, because the cloud now encompasses everything that's in a data center, where do they start?
Yes, that's a good question. I'm going to tell you how I started, and then I'm going to tell you about the different other approaches to it. So when I wanted to start with the cloud, because back in 2015, maybe it was the hype, and it was really like everywhere, like there was a need for it. I thought, okay, I've been doing software, I've been writing software actually, and then I've been working as an architect. Now I need to, number one, learn about the cloud. Number two, transition my experiences or my skills into there. So back then, Amazon AWS was the top, and everyone else was just like trying things, like Google was trying, Microsoft Azure was trying. And AWS was the number one provider that's providing a lot of documentation. Back then, the trainings were not like today. Like today, if you open like any platform, you will see like 1,001 courses that you can go through.
On
Even
YouTube.
cloud providers, they provide a lot of these trainings, and many of them are free. Back then, it wasn't the case.
Yeah. YouTube has a bunch of free training.
YouTube has a bunch of free training, although I'm a very big believer that there is no free lunch. So you get what you pay for. So if you are looking for a quality training, you have got to pay for this training. It's an investment, I would call it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you about that in a second.
Yes.
But keep going.
Yeah. So what happened back then is I started reading and learning the documentation, and there was a single training on a Cloud Guru. Back then, a Cloud Guru was the only place with training back then, and I went through these. But then that wasn't enough, because I'm lacking any hands-on experiences. And if you sit in a bubble, start to build networking or VPCs as we call them, and adding and removing stuff, it wouldn't help much. So I started doing one thing, and I really I think it works for many people if they do it this way. I started freelancing on building AWS cloud environments for people. So I found this freelancing platform, and I created an account for myself. I used to do a lot of hands-on on the side to learn things, to be ready. And then I found one gig that was like very simple, straightforward. Someone wanted to do a very simple thing, and I went very fast. I did it on the side first to see that I can do it, and then I contacted them and I gave them like very cheap price. I didn't worry about the price back then. I just wanted to start, and they gave me the opportunity. And because I did it well, they kept giving me several of these on this cheap price, because they love the price versus the value. They are getting like free work. And I did this like for 2 or 3 times. And then I told them, hey, that's good. Now, if you want to have a new gig, then we need to have like a new price for it. And I was building my profile in the platform. While doing this, 2 things happened. First, I got a lot of confidence on doing things on AWS, because hands-on is like a different thing. Like when you go hands-on, you learn the nitty-gritty things of how to configure and how to create things. So you learn a lot. plus reading of the documentation. So a side note, this career, like any other IT careers, you will keep studying for your whole life. So if you are having a problem with studying and having to renew your knowledge every 6 months, yeah, find somewhere else. But for this career, you have got to be studying. And I think that's the case with any IT career. Going back, so I did a lot of freelancing on this platform. It was bringing me some side income, but the important thing was building my expertise. So I started there, and my next step was, okay, I have a day job and I want to work in the cloud field, like cloud career. And that's another important point. So I started looking within my organization where the opportunities are. I was hired as a cloud architect. I was hired as like a solutions architect, like for a platform or an applications. But I found out that they have been starting an initiative to move some of these workloads into the cloud. I was lucky because it was also in the Amazon AWS cloud. So I wanted to jump in this wagon. So I started talking about it, like giving like brown bag sessions to the technical team working there about the benefits of the cloud, how we can use it, what different services that we can leverage, and so on. So people started to see, okay, there is value coming here. Why don't you join us in this group to help us as the cloud architect? So that gave me the opportunity to be like a day job in the cloud within my organization. That's how I started.
That's an amazing story. Okay. I'm speechless for a second. But to clarify, when you say you were a solution architect, that was a post, like you weren't selling anything. You worked at a data center or something like that, and you were providing solutions to your employer. Is that accurate?
Yes.
The employer wanted to move to the cloud, and then you kind of taught everybody how to do it, proved that you can do it, and they invited you on that team.
Yes, that's true. And that's where I was saying, moving to cloud sales was coming out of two things. The first one was me working with this organization to migrate or to build the cloud solutions in there. But also it was me teaching them and giving them brown bag sessions, talking to groups of people and getting them to learn things, listening to them, understanding what they want to do. And I started doing my pre-sales stuff within the organization because it's a big organization.
You were selling internally.
So I'm selling it, but I wasn't selling it to to close it, but I was selling it to use it.
You were selling a solution, right? Yeah,
selling a solution.
Okay, I wanted to step back for a second. So you went and you became a freelancer on something you've never actually done professionally. You gave very cheap prices. Like, was it just the price? Like, how did you get someone to give you the chance?
Yeah, so these platforms, there is a lot of people who are doing the same type of job or tasks, but they price it like in a fair way. Like they need to they use it to as an income. For me, again, my unfair advantage was I wasn't looking for this income back then as much as I was looking for learning things through doing, and I wanted real life projects to do it, because demos and stuff are good, but they're not as good as real life examples or real life projects. So what I did is I would wake up in the morning. It's similar to the sales process, prospecting, sending to each and every new opportunity. I send my own message that here I'm available and I can do this. And I was just using the very low price just as a way, like a hook, to bring them into, okay, let's see what this guy is providing. And it only needs you to go and keep consistent. Perseverance is very important until this person accepted. And I believe he accepted it because it was a very simple project. and because it was a very low price. And as I mentioned before, I worked with him like several times, but then I told him, hey, if you like what I do, please give me the review that you think is fair. And then he added the review in there. Once he gave me the 5-star review with a very good comment on it. Now I started to bump up my price and go after more and more gigs, and they started coming to me because now I had something to present as well. So I added the what I did to the portfolio in the platform, and so people now say, okay, he has done this project. Here's the review, and he's available. And I'm very I respond very fast, and I have a very good curated answer, like to or proposal to answer to the proposals or to the requests with a proposal. So I worked hard on this. I took like a couple of courses on Udemy on how to freelance and how to use this platform in order to be to stand out. So again, hard work and when you have again perseverance, hard work are getting you wherever you are. And by the way, one important thing I always tell people who come to me for coaching, I always tell them, I don't believe that anything is impossible. So some people say, yeah, that's difficult, or that you have a disadvantage in this market, or you need to have had a degree. I don't believe in that. I had a mechanical engineering degree, so it has nothing to do with what I do. And I started from scratch. Actually, even my career, when I started, my first job was a software development because I taught myself, I was a self-taught person. So even I didn't use my mechanical engineering for a single day. So again, my point is, if you want to do something, you can do it. Just put the time and put the effort, work like a dog, and you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.